Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Students, welcome to Bagh School Physics Department. This is lecture number 11, and in lecture number 11 we are going to discuss and analyze the next two MCQs. MCQ number 25. A source of sound waves is travelling as shown. In which situation would the stationary observer detect the largest decrease in the observed frequency? Students, you might have the idea that this MCQ is based on Doppler effect, and the formula to calculate observed frequency, that is observed frequency is equal to Fs multiplied by V divided by V plus minus Vs. What has been provided in the question, it has been demanded that in which situation the stationary observer detect the largest decrease in the observed frequency. One thing is very clear in this question, that we have to detect the situation in which there is going to be a largest decrease in the observed frequency. Students, there will be a decrease in the observed frequency when the source moves away from the observer, and it is option C and D where source is shown moving away from the observer. So option A and B are eliminated, because in option A and B sources are moving towards observers, and when source moves towards observer there is increase in the observed frequency. But we have to detect the situation in which there is decrease in the observed frequency. So option A and B are eliminated. We are left with option C and D. We have to decide between these two options. Now there is next condition of the question which we need to consider, that is we have to detect the situation in which there is largest decrease in the observed frequency. There is decrease in the observed frequency in option C when source is moving with speed 5 meter per second. There is decrease in the observed frequency when source is moving with speed 10 meter per second away from the observer. But there is going to be a largest decrease in the observed frequency when the source is moving with a greater speed. And among these two options, it is in option D that source is moving with speed larger than 5 meter per second. It is moving with 10 meter per second away from the observer. So it is in this scenario that there is going to be a largest decrease in the observed frequency. So as a result, we come to know that option D is correct. MCQ number 26. M and N are two electromagnetic waves. The ratio of wavelength of M divided by wavelength of N is equal to 10 raised to power 5. What could M and N be? Students, basically this question is based upon the order of the wavelength of electromagnetic waves. So in order to solve this MCQ, we need to have order of the wavelength of electromagnetic waves in our memory. So we must memorize the order of the wavelength of these electromagnetic waves. And when we divide the wavelength of microwaves by the wavelength of visible light, it is then that the answer comes 10 raised to power near to 10 raised to power 5. In all other options, that is B, C and D, when you substitute the wavelengths of these waves, then the answer, the ratio doesn't come to be 10 raised to power 5. It is only in option A when you substitute the wavelength of microwaves in place of M and the wavelength of visible light in place of N that the answer comes nearly to 10 raised to power 5. So option A is correct. Boys, practice these questions. If you have any problem, you can consult me on WhatsApp. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.